Hi, I'm Lunarcraft and I'm here with AstroTarot presentation, and my site is Sagittarius. As usual, I will start with the general astrological information, moving on to stuff that is more specific to your star sign, and finally drawing out 3 tarot cards, which I hope will, give more clarity, if not inspiration. Okay, diving straight in. The major astrological event for this week is the full moon. And that happens when the moon and the sun are on opposite sides of the earth, and the light from the sun shines directly on the full face of the moon. Now, this particular moon is known by various names. For example, wolf moon in Native American traditions, as this is the month when the hungry pack would gather outside the villages and howl at the moon. It's also referred to as the moon after Yule, because surprise, surprise, it's the full moon following the winter solstice. Now, I know I'm slow on out this piece of information, but just bear it in mind, keep it at the back of your mind. You may be tempted, or may have been tempted, to make really elaborate year-long resolutions and plans, but don't be too hasty. The reason being is that January actually gives you a really good opportunity to think things through, to contemplate what it is you want from this year. And you will find that by spending that time in thought and contemplation, you will be able to make your plans and intentions and wishes much more easily. Okay, moving on to the more specific information. Sagittarius, Mars is currently in your sign, and that could result in you being offered a chance to head up an innovative project. And you could well find yourself going through an epiphany of sorts that could lead to you reaching the conclusion that you no longer want to live by expectations. The time has arrived for you to share these newfound truths with your nearest and dearest. Just everything else that is going on around you, don't forget to take care of your own needs. Remember that self-care should be a priority. Okay, that's it on the astrological front. Let's draw out 3 tarot cards for you. All right, we're starting off with the 8 of Swords. And that card is there to remind you that we all have limiting beliefs at some point. You know, that gremlin who sits on your shoulder and whitters in your ear, you're not good enough for that. You're not clever enough. You haven't got the right qualifications, not got the right experience, blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah. Kick him into touch. Because by challenging those beliefs, you can stop the potential power that they have of making you believe them. They're not true. Okay? In the middle, we've got the Queen of Wands, who carries the message that by adopting a fresh and confident attitude will enable you to break through the negativity of those self-limiting beliefs. And finally, the Ten of Cups, one of the nicest outcome cards, I think. That promises that you will achieve a situation where you can live happily ever after once you've taken yourself in hand. Okay, so a few challenges, but quite a bit for you to think on. And with your natural optimistic approach to life, nothing's going to stop you. Hi, I'm Lunarcraft, and I'm here with this week's AstroTarot presentation. And as always, I will start with the general astrological information and then move on to the more specific information for your sign, which at the moment is Capricorn that I'm focusing on. So, straight in. The major astrological event for this week is the upcoming full moon, which happens when the moon and the sun are on opposite sides of the earth, and the light from the sun shines directly on the full face of the moon. This moon is also known by various names. For example, wolf moon in Native American traditions, because this is the month when the hungry pack would gather outside the village and howl at the moon. It's also referred to as the moon after Yule, because, surprise, surprise, it's the first full moon after the winter solstice. Okay, now I know I'm late in handing out this bit of information, but you may have felt pressured into making elaborate year-long plans, resolutions, whatever. But hold yourself back a little bit. If you give yourself time to think things through, you will find it much easier to formulate those plans, intentions, wishes, whatever it is you want to achieve during 20 Capricorn. It's all happening for you at the moment. The new moon at the beginning of the month took place in your sign. And the moon is responsible for feelings and emotions and gives the advice that you shouldn't hold back from sharing your thoughts and intentions with those around you. You will then be able to start planning towards reaching your goals. You would be able to use the increased awareness and sensitivity to see all aspects of situations, and then to make suggestions to encourage harmony and cooperation. Not easy to do, but that could impact both at work and at home. Now, talking about your work life, the coming 2 weeks could see you reaching or receiving rather an offer that will excite you and will spark your imagination in thinking about how to approach this new situation. It's really exciting stuff. Okay, moving on to consider your tarot cards. And I'm getting the hang of this. I can now count 1, 2, and 3. It's all right, I was struggling earlier. Don't know why. Okay, let's have a look at what's here. Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to look at the first two cards together. They are the Two of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. And both of them are urging you to think about what insights you have gained about people in your close circle. You're likely to find that this period of introspection could result in finding different ways with them, and in turn creating that harmonious cooperative atmosphere. And in the final position, you've got Judgment, which indicates the importance of using all available information that is known to you so that you can make informed decisions, and the actions will therefore be identifiable, and you will be able to achieve a balance between your closest family members, friends, and colleagues. So, few challenges, or not challenges, but things for you to think on. Hi, I'm Lunarcraft, and I'm here with the regular AstroTarot presentation. And under my spotlight now is you, Aquarius. As usual, I will start off the general astrological information, moving on to information that is more specific to your star sign, and finally drawing out 3 tarot cards for consideration. So, the major astrological event for this coming week is the full moon, and that occurs when the moon and the sun are on opposite sides of the earth, and the light from the sun shines directly on the full face of the moon. This moon is known by various names. For example, wolf moon in Native American traditions, as this is when the hungry pack would gather outside the villages and howl at the moon. It's also referred to as the moon after Yule, because, surprise, surprise, it's the first full moon after the winter solstice. Now, I know I'm a bit slow in passing this bit of information on, but I hope I'm not too late. You may feel that you've been pressured by everyone around you to get on and make your resolutions. If you haven't done so yet, that's absolutely fine, because this January, is a perfect to spend in contemplation, thinking about what it is you want to achieve from this year. And you will find that you will be able to quite easily make those decisions and formulate your plans quite easily once you spend that time thinking on it. Now, moving on to the more specific information for Aquarius, you are such a dedicated humanitarian that you sometimes overlook your own need happiness. You are now being given the opportunity to begin focusing on your own goals and the activities that are important to you. There are also indications that you could go back to an activity that you enjoyed when you were younger. It's not a backward step at all. It's just enabling you to get enjoyment from that. And something that is coming to the surface, concern for your spiritual life, and spending time in meditation or calm reflection will help you to identify the type of life that you want to lead, and then to find a way to make progress towards building that life. So it's all exciting stuff. Right, tarot card time. Let's see what comes out. Oh, that one. And two. And oh, I've got a little patch. It's that one. The one that's hiding. Right. Okay, let's turn these over. And we have in the first position the Two of Wands. Now that shows you spending time looking at the near future, but also realizing that it is fine to leave things to fate for a short while. Okay? Okay, to drift a bit. The next two cards and the Page of Cups, I'm going to read in tandem because they both give the warning of not remaining in a state of coasting through life for too long. Set a time limit for when you will resume the responsibility of directing your life again. Also, the Page of Cups is pointing towards your desire to become involved in creative pursuits. And he highlights the therapeutic effect that comes or can come with being creative. So, all good stuff. Hi, I'm Lunarcraft, and I'm here with the weekly AstroTarot presentation. And as always, I will start with the general astrological information, then move on to the more star sign specific information. And at the moment, you're under my spotlight, Pisces. And finally, I will draw out 3 to see what information they can impart. Okay, so astrologically, the major event for this coming week is the full moon. A full moon occurs when the moon is opposite the sun. They're on opposite sides of the earth. And the light from the sun shines directly on the full face of the moon. Now, this particular moon is quite interesting. It's known by various names. For example, wolf moon in a number of Native American traditions, as this is the month that the hungry pack gather outside the villages and howl at the moon. It's also referred to as the moon after Yule because, surprise, surprise, it's the first full moon after the winter solstice. Now, I know I'm a bit slow in handing this piece of information on, but you never know, it might give you some respite. You may have been tempted, felt pressured to make elaborate year-long resolutions and plans. But if you haven't, don't worry. This January is a perfect time to spend thinking carefully about what you want to achieve in 2022. And once you've done that, you will find that the plans actually come almost naturally. Okay, moving on to the more specific information. Okay, Pisces, you are likely to discover that you become involved in some pretty heavy, somewhat philosophical conversations when people actually come to you to confide in. This will also enable you to share your own feelings, and it will be cathartic for you and ease any tensions you have around your emotions bottled up. They're far better out. As January progresses, you will find that all the honest talking taking place will form even stronger bonds with those who are important to you. You will enter into discussions towards the end of this month with friends and family around creating new plans to help with living arrangements. This will generate some innovative ideas and even perhaps some ideas for generating more income. All of these are worthy of greater consideration, so take your time before making a decision. So, gosh, you'll be using your brain quite a bit. Let's look now to your tarot cards. And one and two and okay, turn these over, see what we've got. Okay, interesting. Your first tarot card this week is the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is encouraging you to speak out with honesty. Don't hold back, but do avoid being harsh. But as they say, if you don't ask, you don't get. In the middle of the three cards is the Knight of Cups, and he urges you to speak openly about your love life and your hopes for the future. Again, be honest about what you want, because that way you remove any room for doubt to set in. And finally, we've got the Four of Wands. And again, that one is asking for honesty, particularly around your work-based ambitions. You will be able to create an action plan, action steps. Don't be afraid to share your goals and send your intentions out to the universe. By being open about your desires, change will happen. Okay, so have a good week. That's it from me. It's going to have its challenges, but you're more than capable of dealing with those. I'll be back next week, same place, same time, and I really hope you will be able to join me as well. In the meantime, have a wonderful week. Thank you for listening, and bye-bye.